is in decline. Alcohol is in rapid, permanent decline, they're saying.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It's very detrimental to your health, to your decision-making, obviously.
And notice how Mike is not addressing the real problem. He's doing everything but like addressing the real problem. Like he's not telling you why guys don't want to go to the club anymore. He's not telling you why guys are drinking less. He's not telling you why dudes aren't interested with dealing with this bullshit. The reason why alcohol consumption is down is because are insufferable, bro. That's why, man. The cost of pursuing women within the confinements of nightlife no longer is worth it. That is why. And young men nowadays are equipped with knowledge to justify that decision, and they're aware that nightlife is a scam 99% of the time. So let's kind of build on this shit. A couple of days ago, I saw this breaking out all over the news, and it said here, the alcohol industry has lost $830 billion in 4 years because Gen Z is not drinking. Okay, so this is something that I, predicted would happen, right? And it's already occurring. So it goes here, and I commented, I said, guys are waking up that drinking is only to get women. However, since most women are insufferable, they don't want to waste their time, money, health, and energy in the pursuit of women like millennials did, right? So Gen Zers are bored, because I would be considered a millennial. Anyone born in like the 80s or 90s is considered a millennial. Gen Z are guys born in 1997 onward, right? 1997 to 2012. So basically the generation after me, like my brother's generation. This generation benefits from the red pill way more than my generation did. We didn't have the internet. We didn't have YouTube, right? Like, it wasn't until we became adults that the internet was like a ubiquitous thing. Does that make sense, chat? But now, these young people can go on the internet, get on YouTube, and handle any of their problem, right? A lot of people forget that YouTube is almost like a do-it-yourself app. The reason why YouTube is so popular is because a normie can open up YouTube and find out how to change a tire, right? How to, switch a light bulb, whatever. Then it morphed into like a more entertainment streaming platform. But people always forget that YouTube was like one of the original bastions in helping people with getting things done. And one of the problems that guys would use YouTube for was, how do I get girls, right? And as guys started putting, how do I get girls? Now, all of a sudden, Fresh Fit pops up. Now, Rollo Tomasi pops up. Now, Andrew Tate pops up, right? Now, other people in this side of the internet pop up. MGTOW starts to pop up, right? I know I haven't talked about MGTOW in a very long time. For those of you that are unaware, MGTOW is like kind of a movement within the red pill, right? Called men going their own way. Now, I remember that people used to scoff at this concept when MGTOW people would say, oh yeah, men are going their own way, blah, blah, blah. And they used to say, what the hell, bro? What is that? That sounds like some incel bullshit, ha, ha, ha. Well, look, it's happening. It's happening right now. Because, the decrease in alcohol consumption isn't because, dudes are like, want to get super healthy. That might be a part of it. But the real reason is that drinking alcohol for you as a man, a lot of times is going to be intimately tied to the pursuit of females. And since most women don't want most men, and most guys struggle on the sexual marketplace, why are dudes going to be spending their time and energy and effort going to the club and just keep getting curved? And then on top of that, they're on YouTube and they're listening to niggas like us saying, yo, there's no point to go to the nightclub. Get your shit together. There's no point, right? So on one end, you have people like myself saying, yo, this is how women are. Get your sexual market value up before you even bother going to a club. Then on top of that, like I'm telling you this on YouTube. And then on top of that, what I'm telling you is being affirmed by your life experiences. Let me give you guys an example to really draw this. Right? In an imaginary world, let's say you're a blue pill normie, right? You're 20 years old, 5, 6 years ago. You're just fresh out of high school. You got your high school sweetheart. Things are going well. But after you guys graduate high school, she goes off to college. You beg her not to. You want to go with her, but you didn't get accepted to the school. You try to find a way to move with her over there. And through much pain and tribulation, you're unable to do it, right? She comes back for her first winter break, and you notice that she's distant. She isn't as into you as before. Now, all of a sudden, when you say, hey, I want to come visit you on campus, she has excuses. Now she has a new group of friends. And before you know it, you're getting hit with the... She breaks up with you. There's a girl that you spent the last 3 or 4 years with, and she breaks up with you. You don't know what to do. You don't know what's going on. You feel like the world's going to end. You talk with your buddies. They're like, don't worry about it, man. We're going to go out. We'll figure this shit out. Okay. You reluctantly agree. You go with them to the nightclub. You're approaching girls left and right, trying to hit on them, introduce yourself, and you notice a cold shoulder. None of them really engage with you in conversation. They look up at you for a second, they go back to their phone. As you try to start conversation with multiple women, they're getting pulled by their beluga whale friend. They're getting pulled into sections. You talk to 30 girls, strike out with every single one. You get 2 or 3 numbers, but you strike out with every other girl. You wake up the next day, groggy as feel like shit. You text those girls that you contacted, no response. You go hit up another girl that you went to high school with, hey, I'm single now. You want to hang out? Oh, yeah, sure. You guys plan a date? She flakes. So within the span of a few weeks, you lose your girl, you strike out horribly at the nightclub, a girl that you thought you might have been able to court or get with flakes on you and doesn't even show up. Frustrated, you take to YouTube and type in, how do I get girls? You find me. And not only do I explain why a girl would break up with you when she goes off to college, I also explain how nightclubs are a waste of time. And unless you got a section or you have your shit together or whatever, you're a Chad, you're gonna have a very difficult time. I talk about hypergamy, I talk about women. It's at that moment that everything clicks. Oh shit. Does this nigga know me? What's going on here? He just connected the dots about why I have all these problems with females. I've always thought this, but I couldn't say it. Holy shit, I'm not alone. You get addicted. You watch more of our shows. You tune after hours, see female nature there. You see our breakdowns of cultural events where women display horrible behavior, and then you become a supporter of the movement, right? But let's, kind of peel this back. Why? Well, I'll tell you why. I'm unapologetically describing, to some degree, your experience. That is why people watch this shit. This is why people care about what I gotta say. Because I'm telling you guys stuff or preparing you guys for stuff that your father, your uncle, your brother won't a lot of the times. Whether it's by their ignorance or because they don't know how the sexual marketplace works now, things have changed significantly. Now, let's go back to the original article here. Alcohol consumption is down. Well, why is alcohol consumption down? Alcohol consumption is down because men, like the scenario I just gave you, are realizing that nightlife, bars, etc., are simply not conducive environments to pick up women unless you're a high sexual market value guy. Average dudes are gonna strike out. So if you take the fact that, number one, the red pills exploded in popularity, then number two, most guys share experiences with always striking out at the club and or nightlife, it's no wonder that alcohol consumption is down. There's no point. Because most guys know that drinking alcohol is intimately tied to the pursuit of women. So why are you going to drink alcohol if you're not even bothering to pursue the women? Most guys are social drinkers. They're not gonna drink just to get drunk. And I would argue that men of this generation are far more red-pilled on female nature than my generation. Don't get it twisted, we still got a lot of simps. But for you guys, like the red pills become mainstream. My generation, it wasn't. So first I wanted to open up with this, that alcohol sales are down 830 billion. And I would argue a big reason why it's down is because a lot of men are walking away, right? Then I saw this video here where Majlak talks about this, and he kind of dances around the topic, by the way, which I always thought was kind of funny. I'll play it one time through, and then I'll play it and break it down. One time through, no interruptions. Give me 1 sec, guys.
Alcohol is in decline. Alcohol is in rapid, permanent decline, they're saying.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It's very, it's very detrimental to your health, to your decision making, obviously. And so some people are going towards psychedelics, some people are just doing drugs. Like there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but alcohol has become, it's in decline. And so what you're seeing along with that is you're seeing a lot of very alcohol dependent scenarios also decline, and that means super clubs, because there's really no way to want to spend that much time in a club like a super club without being under the influence. It's just not a so I think the trend will continue to push towards lounges, places that you can have conversation, which is great. And of course, like, we live in a world where everybody wants to have they want to be in an aspirational scenario. Everybody wants to be at the place that you can't get into. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of.
All right, so let's play this again now. I'll give some commentary. I wanted you guys to be able to hear it one time uninterrupted.
Decline. Alcohol is in rapid, permanent decline, they're saying.
Yes.
There's just a lot of people out there who just don't want to drink alcohol anymore. It's very, it's very detrimental to your health, to your decision making, obviously. And so
but that's not the reason.
People are going towards psychedelics. Some people are just doing drugs.
Yeah, so there you go. Because they're finding other ways to, numb themselves, but they're just not doing it via alcohol as much anymore.
Like, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, but alcohol has become, it's in decline. And so what you're seeing along with that is
like, when I was growing up, I remember people used to say alcohol is social lubricant. Well, there's no need to use social lubricant if you're not going to be social. And the reason why guys aren't as social is because many men have figured out that the math just don't math. It's not worth it to pursue these insufferable, annoying chicks.
You're seeing a lot of very alcohol dependent scenarios also decline, and that means super club.
nightclubs, bars, etc. Now, the other thing with nightclubs, guys, right? There's a couple things that killed nightlife. And I've talked about this explicitly before, but I'll kind of cover this again because some of you guys are new here. One of the things that absolutely killed nightlife, by the way, was the rise of bottle service. I've noticed no one really talks about this. One of the things that absolutely killed nightlife and night game was the introduction of bottle service. Namely, bottle service and VIP sections. And the reason why is because by instituting something like bottle service and sections, what you've inadvertently done is you've now commodified the asset to pay customers in the first place. Nightclubs have to operate on a delicate balance of having enough girls there to get men to go there while simultaneously also having enough men to foot the bill. I'm going to say that again. Guys, this is very important. Okay, this is very important shit that no one ever talks about. Nightclubs run on a very tight rope and delicate balance where they have to have enough women in the nightclub to incentivize men to come and spend money, but they also can't have too many women in the nightclub because women don't pay for shit and they're bad for business. But they're a necessary evil because they're the ones that bring the men there who actually do spend the money. And this, my friends, has been a mathematical equation that many nightlife owners have had to battle with for years. You have to have like the perfect ratio of both parties to be profitable while simultaneously bringing in your customer base. Because if you don't have the men, you don't get any money. Because let's be explicitly clear about this. Most women are not going to pay to go out, bro, at all. Okay? Let's just keep it a fiend. They'll never tell y'all this. They'll never admit this shit. But most women have way too much pride to ever pay for their own drink at a bar. Most women have way too much pride to pay a cover fee to get in. They're not doing it, okay? When it comes to nightlife, females are entitled to a whole other level you will never understand. They literally look at it like, we're the commodity, we're not paying, we're the prize, and they act like it. So this has been an equation that many nightlife owners have had to struggle with for years. And then with the lack of men drinking alcohol, right? Because make no mistake about it, less guys are going to the club, which means less guys are drinking alcohol because that's where alcohol is consumed most of the time. Contrary to popular belief, most niggas are just sitting around with a bottle of vodka, drinking that shit at home for no reason. Most guys are drinking because there's some type of social event tied to it. Well, if you remove the social event, hence the nightclubs and going and getting girls, sales are going to decline significantly, obviously. Let's keep going here.
Because there's really no way to want to spend that much time in a club, like a super club, without being under the influence. It's just not a. So I think the trend will continue to push towards lounges, places that you can have conversation, which is.
Yeah, maybe. But what Mike has failed to realize is that this isn't just a nightclub problem. This is a young men / hypergamy problem. Lounges might last longer than a nightclub, but it doesn't make it immune because lounges still suffer from the same problem, the same inherent problems, which is expensive alcohol, entitled women, right? And the incentive to go out just isn't high enough anymore. It just isn't. Simply put, it's just not. So
it's great. And of course, like we live in a world where everybody wants to have, they want to be in an aspirational scenario. Everybody.
Yeah. And notice how Mike is not addressing the real problem. You guys catch on to that? That he's not addressing it. He's doing everything but like addressing the real problem. He's more like kind of dancing around it. Like he's not telling you why guys don't want to go to the club anymore. He's not telling you why guys are drinking less. He's not telling you why dudes aren't interested with dealing with this bullshit. You know, it's okay. I'll tell you. The reason why alcohol consumption is down is because are insufferable, bro. That's why, man. The cost of pursuing women within the confinements of nightlife no longer is worth it. That is why. And young men nowadays are equipped with knowledge to justify that decision, and they're aware that nightlife is a scam 99% of the time. That's why, Mike. That's why. Clearly he's beating around the bush, doesn't want to come off as, well, this is a guy that works with Logan Paul, and we know that they're like, you know, super normie PC type shit. And he's trying to say, oh yeah, well, you know, club situation, blah, blah. No, bro, it's simple. They're useless. Guys are waking up to the fact that are useless, and they're acting accordingly. And not going to nightclubs where could continue to prove that they're useless, even more so. Because if you take a that has an ego, right? Women's egos are already outrageous. You take that same and put her in a nightclub, yo, finito. These are already too arrogant. So if you put her in a nightclub, bro, it's like, you guys remember the legendary fisherman on Yu-Gi-Oh? This right here? Yeah, really dirty right now. Yo, y'all niggas remember this Yu-Gi-Oh card right here, bro? Remember this shit? The legendary fisherman? Yo. And it goes, while Umi is on the field, this card is unaffected by spell effects and cannot be targeted for attacks, but does not prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. Y'all niggas want to know what the club is? The club is Umi, bro. This shit right here. So for those of you that are not familiar with the lore, right? This card right here, the legendary fisherman, is a pretty rare card. And this card, when you have this field up, he cannot be attacked because he's in the water and shit, right? You can't attack him when he's in the water. This is exactly how women are at the nightclub. Become the legendary fisherman, bro. Okay? Well, honestly, a lot of these probably are the legendary fishermen because they're things too. But you guys get the point, right? They're already arrogant. You throw them in a nightclub? Nigga, they're on God mode. You can't attack them. You can't do nothing. But that's how these women are, bro. A woman in a nightclub is like legendary fisherman and Ubi together. So, yeah, man. I see niggas in the chat are laughing. Well, come on. Am I not telling facts? Like, come on, man. So, bro, niggas is tired of it.